when Stephen was born, they said I was in trouble. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I mean, but basically it was Dr. Error, Dr. Neglect. I lost 4 units of blood during an emergency C-section that was not an emergency, performed without an epidural working. So I felt them cut, I felt them pull him out. I'm screaming the whole time, and nobody's listening to me. The anesthesiologist became my best friend because he sent me on a really cool free fall kaleidoscope trip. I will never forget feeling like I was floating down and thinking, this is how you get a baby. This is cool, although it wasn't really cool. But I had lost 4 units of blood during the C-section, and they didn't replace it. They sent me home 5 days later with a hemoglobin of 7.2 or something like that. Way too low. And
what is a normal hemoglobin supposed to be?
Like 14. So I basically, what that means is I had half my blood volume. But at the same time, my kidneys were shutting down. Everything was shutting down, so I wasn't like getting rid of fluid. And so I was blowing up bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger like a balloon because my kidneys had shut down. So my heart, the heart muscle, was wrapped in fluid, but it didn't have enough blood volume, so it was pumping really fast. So basically, if this is your heart and this is a normal heartbeat, mine was doing this, trying to keep the blood that I did have flowing through my body, but then they wrapped it in fluid. So, I swelled up so bad that you could know where I was walking through the house because my feet were so swollen that every time I put weight on them, the skin tore. And so there were like little droplets of blood through the house, and everybody knew where I was because you could trail me. And we kept calling the doctors and telling them that I was getting worse and worse and worse, and they just kept saying, watch her. And finally Jim said, watch her what? Die? And he called my family doctor, because we'd been calling the OBs, and he said to take me to the hospital. Well, by then I didn't want to go. I was not having any part of it, and Jim made me go. I had already been back in the emergency room. They gave me 2 units of blood. That hadn't helped. It hadn't done anything. And so when they took me back in the next time, it was 9 days after Stephen was born. They took me in immediately through trauma, the trauma unit. And I went through all kinds of tests. It was awful. I don't remember all of it. I primarily remember Larry, Moe, and Curly in the trauma unit trying to start another IV because he started it in the wrong place, and then the other guy trying to get arterial blood while the other guy was trying to do something else, and me flipping out. Because remember, I don't like people. So I definitely don't like people doing things to me. And Jim finally just made them all stop. It's like, you're dealing with a human being here, Ended up having a right heart cath, and they discovered that I have postpartum cardiomyopathy, which is a form of congestive heart failure.
A heart cath is a catheterization where they go into the heart and...
Right, and look at the heart muscle. They take pictures and see what's going on in there. Only in a regular heart cath, they go through the vein in the groin, and they go up. In a right heart cath, they go through, I think I don't know where they went through, but they went through the neck.
A vein in the neck.
So I ended up with that, and unfortunately, within 2 years, the Epstein-Barr virus, everybody has been exposed to the Epstein-Barr virus at some point in time in their life. But most people, it's one of those things that just lays dormant in your system. You know, yeah, it never is an issue. It's not contagious. It's not going to rear its ugly head. But when your body has been traumatized for whatever reason, it can be triggered, and it was. And I developed chronic fatigue syndrome, and everybody thinks that is where you just sleep all the time, and it's not. I go through severe periods of insomnia where I don't sleep for days, and then all of a sudden I crash and burn, and I sleep for 2 or 3 days without getting up to do anything except go to the bathroom. That's it. You know, you don't even talk to me because I'm not going to remember you were there. But I am always tired. Even after I've slept for 3 days, I wake up and I'm tired. You know, I always feel underslept, you know, and you learn how to deal with that. You learn how to keep going and how to function, but it's not easy. That led to chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. They go together. If you have one, you probably have the other one. And over the last 2 or 3 years, I've been dealing with constant chronic pain. I found a new one the other day. I got sunburned, and I haven't been sunburned in a long time. Found out that sunburn and fibromyalgia don't work well together, because fibromyalgia is a firing of the nerve endings. When you're sunburned, those nerve endings fire anyways. So when they fire with fibromyalgia and sunburn combined, it goes all the way through the leg. You know, it's like, it was awful. I was miserable. But because this has gone on as long as it has, my immune system has been severely compromised. So when I say that I don't leave the house for long periods of time, I'm not kidding. I am not allowed in public during cold and flu season. I can't leave. I can't go out in the house without going out masked and gloved. So living in Michigan from approximately mid-September to the beginning of October, all the way through end of April, I never leave the house, except maybe to run to the grocery store at midnight with Jim, in mask and gloves. Once in a while, we might go out to dinner someplace, but we go at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when nobody else is in the restaurant. I have to just be really careful. Stephen comes home from the co-op, his homeschool co-op, with a sniffle, and I have pneumonia. Yeah, I've had pneumonia 9 times in 3 years. Unfortunately, recently I've started having chest pain, heart issue things that we've been dealing with. So it's just been a constant chronic thing, and the doctors have said that while Florida will not cure it all, it will help getting out of Michigan in the cold and flu season. Even though there's a cold and flu season in Florida, it's not as severe as it is here, and it's not as long term. Also, the air down there is cleaner because of the salt water that blows in. And so while we know that barometric pressures and things are going to cause the pain to increase for a little while, the immune system improving is worth dealing with the pain until my body adjusts to it, and then everything can kind of settle, as what we're hoping.
Talk about that move to Florida, or
Well,
the intended move.
I have said for years, I would move many places, but Florida would not be one of them. Too hot, too humid, not doing it. The last time we went to Florida on vacation, when we were driving through Orlando, we had gone down to Jim's sister and brother-in-law's in Venice, which is on the Gulf side. But we had a rental car, so we had to come back, even though they live a mile off of I-75, and I-75 is what we take all the way up to come home. We had to, in order to return the rental car, drive all the way across the state to Orlando to find out we got to keep that car and drive back over to 75 and come up, which was crazy. But when we were in Orlando, I kept saying, I could live here. I could live here. And we've known for a long time we wanted to get out of Michigan. Jim hates, and when I say hate, that's not a strong enough word, the winter. He detests, and I'm not sure that word's strong enough either, the cold weather. So we knew we wanted to leave Michigan. When we first got married, we lived in California for a while, and we both liked it. But neither one of us really felt like that's where we wanted to go back to. You know, we would, but it just doesn't feel like the right fit right now. For many reasons. But we started talking, and originally we were talking about Tennessee, because I love Chattanooga, I love the Knoxville area. We had talked about Missouri because we both loved Branson. But I told Jim, you know, what about Florida? And not long after that, the doctor started telling me Florida would be a good fit. And so we started talking about it, and we decided that we would move to Florida. We never dreamed it would take this long to get there, but we are still diligently pursuing it. Jim has been freelance with his job for years, and unfortunately, entering back into the workplace from a freelance type thing is really hard to do, especially when you're doing it from 1,500 miles away. So, you know, basically on those days when I'm locked in the house again, heading into another winter, and I'm discouraged and down, you know, Jim's promised me he's not giving up, and so that's where he becomes my hero, because he keeps me going and keeps me moving forward.
Tell me about this vlog, what you hope maybe the audience can get out of it, and what you hope to accomplish.
I guess it's a few things. Yeah, there's a lot of people that do this so that they can make money, and sure, bring it on, I'll make money, but you know, that's not why I'm doing this particular channel. I've met people, I've talked to people on the phone that are also YouTubers, and I love making friends, you know, and this is a safe way for somebody that doesn't trust people and doesn't let people in easily. This is a safe way to do it, because you know, I just read your comments, you know, so I can choose who to let in. But also, you know, with the knitting and the crafting and stuff, I can show you, I can show Mom, I can show Steven. You guys appreciate it for what it is. But if it's a really hard pattern, somebody that understands how hard that is can really appreciate it. So it gives a venue to show that off, you know, and to share your work with other people. But because I've dealt with, you know, the health issues and, you know, the panic attacks and the anxiety disorders and the post-traumatic stress and the whole thing that goes along with everything, there's other people out there that do it too, you know, and it's a way to kind of connect with those people. And I'm trying to find new ways to deal with my health issues without just medicine. You know, we're changing some of our dietary stuff. I've lost a lot of weight. I'm still losing weight, you know, and finding healthier ways to live. And maybe I can help somebody else out there that's doing it by seeing where I've come from. They can help me, and you can kind of make this community that shares different parts of our lives. You know, making friends this way is safe. So it's a great way to do it. So is that all the questions?
Yeah, that's it.
I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was kind of a fun way to learn a little bit about me. If you have any questions, or if you have anything more you want to know, feel free to comment. Ask me in the comments. And, you know, we'll see. And don't forget to subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button if you liked it. And I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great night. Bye.